Yo, welcome back to the Mac Sports Attack. I'm your Mac, Marvin Allen Cox himself. We got some big trade news coming up as Damian Lillard has requested a trade. Everybody's talking about it, so let's break it down. Yes, it is indeed true. It has been about a week now as Damian Lillard has officially, finally, requested a trade. It is what's best for him. It is what's best for the NBA world as Damian Lillard finally requested a trade. It's official. So let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a Damian Lillard trade series. Everybody's talking about the same old trades, about him going to Miami. Well, you know Miami's a front runner, and justifiably so. They just went to the finals. They need him. He is a perfect missing piece for that Heat culture. He's a perfect missing piece for that team to team up with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Buckets. But let's talk about some of the trades that a lot of people aren't giving love to and see if these are possible fits. So, trade scenario number one, this video, short video, is going to be about a potential trade to the Brooklyn Nets. Damian has talked about how the Brooklyn Nets intrigue him as one of his best friends, Mikal Bridges, is on the team. And as we saw after Mikal Bridges was traded from the Phoenix Suns to the Brooklyn Nets, he kind of broke out and showed that he can indeed develop into a star that got Damian Lillard intrigued enough to potentially go into the Brooklyn Nets. So let's break down the Nets trade offer. So this is the trade that they said was offered from Brooklyn Nets to the Portland Trail Blazers for Damian Lillard. The Nets taking, Nurkic away from the Blazers as well to clear up some cap space, future cap space for them, as he's under a 3-year contract there. Damian Lillard goes to the Nets as well. Of course, that's the big winner. And then the Blazers getting Ben Simmons to match up salaries. Nick Claxton, which is a highly coveted young center in the league right now. A lot of people like him. A lot of teams like him. And Royce O'Neal, which is just pretty much a dead cap filler, as he has one more year left on his deal, which is a $9 million a year deal that's going to come off the books in next year. So the Blazers will be able to use their money next year again. They're getting a boatload of first-round picks, and these are good first-round picks. With a 2025, 2027, and a 2029 and 2030 first-round pick. That's a lot of first-round picks there to help the Blazers build their future. So I think this is a pretty good trade. Let's continue to break this trade down. So yes, financially this trade works out. I went ahead and went on the trade machine to make sure it got the green check. It did, as the Brooklyn Nets will be giving away about $57 million in contracts if you take in consideration Ben Simmons' $38 million and the two $9 million contracts as the Royce O'Neal and Nick Claxton give them on the other side. And the Brooklyn Nets will be absorbing $62 million in contract, which is Nurkic and Mr. Damian Lillard combined, but they're still under the luxury tax with this deal. So they still have room to rock, room to shake. Why is this a great deal for either side? Why is it possible? Why do I think it's a realistic trade and something to consider? Well, one, Damian Lillard will be happy. He's playing with a guy that he said he wants to play with. When he had the interview on The Last Stand, he did say the Miami Heat would be his number one, but he said the Brooklyn Nets would be number two, as Mikal Bridges was his boy. Now he wants to play for a contending team, and a lot of people are going to say, the Brooklyn Nets, they're not contending. Well, the Brooklyn Nets were the 6th seed last year. They did get swept by the Philadelphia 76ers 4-0, but they did play them well in every game. Obviously, they didn't have a superstar, and Ben Simmons, who was supposed to be one of their best players, didn't play a single game. But still, they made a 6th seed, which is very impressive in the NBA right now because the 6th seed means you don't have to play in the play-in. You would think with Damian Lillard added to this team, they have to be better than that. They have to be better than that. So, yes, he's going to a team that's actually going to be in the playoffs, as he was a 13th seed in the West last year. That was no possibility. And if he's on Brooklyn, you would think that they would hop over Miami talent-wise, as if he's not going on Miami to make them better, and he's making Brooklyn substantially better, I think that is a good team. I think you have to see them as a top 3 in the East, as the Bucks and Boston are pretty much the creme de la creme in the East. But right after that, there's a logjam of all the other teams. So I think that would put him right in the top 3. The Bucks, Boston, and the Brooklyn Nets with Damian Lillard. Now, Damian Lillard did not have help. He wants help. He's been begging Portland to get him help. Well, he has it now. Mikal Bridges did have a breakout season when he got traded to the Nets, showing what he can do. We all know he's a two-way player. So while Damian Lillard is handling the scoring, Mikal Bridges could lock up other defenders. They did sign back Cam Johnson, who is also a two-way player, but showed that he has a lot more room to grow since he's been on the Brooklyn Nets. And yes, you're losing Nick Claxton, but he still gets Nurkic back, so they still have a center in the mix and someone he's accustomed to playing to. We all know Nurkic's problem has been health, but when he's healthy, he's a damn good center. And him being in the East now, he doesn't have much centers to really combat with. Obviously, the current MVP, Embiid, is there, and the Boston Celtics just got Porzingis. But other than that, there isn't much big-time centers in the East. I mean, Capella is out there. He's a great defensive center as well as defensive rebounder, but he can't really score of the likes of Nurkic. I like this squad here. We got Damian Lillard, Spencer Dinwiddie, which a lot of people forgot was on that team and doing well as well. Mikal Bridges. You got Cam Johnson and then Nurkic. That is a really good starting 5. And coming off the bench, you got some other defensive stoppers like Dorian Finney-Smith that can help out. You have Lonnie Walker, who they just took from the Lakers, who was a good role player this year. And they just got a sneaky good pickup in Dennis Smith Jr., who can be a really good backup guard for them. And a lot of people, if you remember Cam Johnson is out there, but they also have a lot of young players who showed a lot of promise, like that kid Cam, who was dropping 50 points here and there. If they can get him more integrated into the roster, I think they have an explosive bench, and that's an explosive starting 5. That is a team to contend with in the East. And they did draft Dariq Whitehead from the infamous Duke Blue Devils, and he's supposed to be a good player as well. So I think this is a very solid team for Damian Lillard to go to, for Damian Lillard to be excited to play for. What does the Portland Timberwolves have? Well, they're starting over. They're blowing it up. They're losing Damian Lillard, but Scoot Henderson, who would have probably been the first-round pick in any other draft without Wembanyama in it, he is seen to be the next elite point guard in the NBA. He's been compared to prime Derrick Rose. He's been compared to Mr. Russell Westbrook. These are very active, explosive, bouncy point guards. And if he comes anything close to that ilk, they successfully moved on from Damian Lillard. Very good. On that side as well, they're going to have all the young talent that they have already, Mr. Sharp, Anthony Simons. They did sign back Mr. Grant back. So, they have a very good power forward that a lot of teams coveted on a good contract. So if they want to flip him for more picks to help build, that it works well as well. Nassar Little. With this trade, they have a lot of young talent coming in, all of them with promise. We all think that Scoot Henderson and Sharp are going to turn into really great elite players in the NBA. So let's give them opportunity to grow, give them opportunity to play. And then first round pick galore. You get 4 first round picks, man. An extra 2025, an extra 2027, extra 2029, an extra 2030. You're going to have about 8 first round picks in the next 4 or 5 years to continue to grow to this team. So you have an expedited rebuild, not a long, lengthy, the process rebuild like the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Trailblazers have done a good job of, developing talent, especially guards. You know, we've seen them do it, you know, with Anthony Simons on the team right now, with CJ McCollum, when they had some of the old, you know, UConn guards like Shabazz Napier on the team. They really do a good job of developing point guards, and with Chauncey Billups being the head coach, you can only see that continuing to go. So 4 first-round picks, you get a very young talent in Nick Claxton as well to replace Nurkic. A lot of people want it. He's on a low contract. You can sign him up for the future and lock up that young team. And then kind of look like OKC, where OKC has finally shown promise, show that they're ready to take that next step, and they have 1 million first-round picks, so they can start, you know, making trades soon, so they can really contend and compete. And that's where I see the Portland Trailblazers are with this trade. But this is not it, guys. I mean, let's say Portland gives Brooklyn a thumbs up, like, look, you're kind of convincing us here. You know, Ben Simmons' contract is horrendous. We don't know what we have with him. Luckily, he only has 2 years left on his contract. So by the time you're ready to contend, that $38 million comes off your book, and you can use that for free agents in 2 years when you're ready to start really competing for the West again. He's off the books. So even if he doesn't play, it doesn't bother you. Hopefully he plays a little bit, and then you're able to trade him and flip him quickly. You know, LeBron always coveted his talents. Maybe LeBron can help him mentally and get him back to a great player in the NBA. Who cares? That doesn't have to be the Portland Trailblazers' problem. He's just somewhere to match the contracts, somewhere they can get off the books very quick and easy. He won't be a headache like he has been for other teams. But the thing is, Brooklyn has a couple more kickers they can add to this to make this trade get done. They have another 2025 draft pick. They have another 2027 first-round draft pick. In 2028, they have an additional 2 first-round picks. In 2029, they have an additional 2 first-round picks. So this is why it makes even more sense for Brooklyn to make this trade, as they're not mortgaging the future to get Damian Lillard. Because yes, they're giving away 4 first-round picks, but in 2025, you're expecting to contend in the East anyway. You're not expecting to get a top pick, but you still have one for coverage. You have a first-round pick going the next year. Houston does have the right to swap in 2025 and 2027, but who cares? You're expecting to contend those years, and you still have a first-round pick in those drafts, so you're really losing nothing. And then in 2028 and 2029, you have 2 first-round picks. So let's say, you know, Portland wants to get greedy and say, hey, we need 5 first-round picks. Shoot, go ahead, man. Give them another 2028 and 2029 first-round pick. 6 first-round picks with Claxton? Come on, how do you deny that? Also, another thing to be noted, in 2029, they have 3 second-rounders. How about you give them those four first-round picks that you originally were giving them, and throw in a boatload of second-round picks to sweeten up the deal. I see this being a good trade scenario, and I just don't want it to only be talk about Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. We will get into those trades in future Damian Lillard trade series upcoming videos, but right now let's focus on a trade that not many people are even considering, because they're just going to laugh like, he's really not going to go to Brooklyn. I don't know. It just sounds like a win-win scenario for both teams. Portland gets a chance to rebuild with a boatload of first-round picks. Yes, you have to take back Ben Simmons' contract, but he's off the book in 2 years when you're ready to contend anyway. And maybe you can flip him. Maybe you just flip him for a couple second-round picks to get him off your hair. Maybe he agrees to a buyout with you. Instead of you paying him $38 million, hey man, we'll give you $20 million so you can walk and get the heck out of here and go sign with who you want. Make him be somebody else's headache. I don't think that's much of a headache, knowing that you can easily get out this contract from what it seems like, with the buyout possibility. And hey, if you want to sit on the bench, 2 years, you're gone. So you're absorbing that Ben Simmons contract, but you're obtaining what you really need to move on from Damian Lillard, and that is first-round picks. 4 first-round picks. Maybe I would throw in about 2 more second-round picks. Nick Claxton, a promising young center and the Scoot Henderson and the bunch to continue to get playtime now, because with Damian Lillard there, Scoot was not going to be able to develop and play. So this is a good scenario for them. Fair trade for them with a boatload of first-round picks. And then Damian Lillard is happy as he gets to play with one of his boys. He's on a contending team, a team that was a 6 seed without him and could only get better by inserting him into the roster. He gets to play with Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and some of the other young players. The guy I forgot was Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas had a couple 50-point games when they traded away Kevin Durant and a lot. So he showed promise. You know, you can insert him into the rotation or have him off the bench. Maybe he could be a 6th man of the year for you. You have great center still in Nurkic, who you're accustomed to. You have Mikal Bridges, your boy, who's going to be a two-way player. Cam Johnson, who's going to be a two-way player, so you don't have to focus too hard on the defensive end. He's happy. He's ready to go. A win-win scenario, a win-win trade. The Brooklyn Nets acquiring Damian Lillard and him being in the big market of New York for all NBA fans and the NBA community to see. This is a great trade scenario. I don't see why they shouldn't consider it, and I don't see why you shouldn't consider it being an option as well. All right, guys, thanks for watching the Max Sports Attack Damian Lillard trade series. This first trade scenario was with the Brooklyn Nets. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you think it's idiotic, let me know and tell me why. If you think it's a good trade, give me a thumbs up. I would love for you to like, subscribe, and share this video if you find anything useful from it, if you got some entertainment from it. So keep supporting me. I'm just a guy who loves sports, and talking about it is just fun. Even if nobody watches, I'm living a dream. So thanks again for watching the Max Sports Attack. I am your Mac, Marvin Allen Cox, signing out.